What is up, fam? You are back for another video with Datazero. This is your daily outlook prediction for stocks and crypto. This video is not financial advice, should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence for buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, let's go and hop in the charts facts data showing you what is going on for this week for stocks and crypto. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is meme stocks, then SPY, and then we'll be looking at cryptocurrency. Ladies and gentlemen, on track for the green week as predicted, AMC and GME. AMC potentially bottoming as predicted as well, and the inverse head and shoulders playing out as well as predicted. You guys can see we have that shoulder, that head, that shoulder. I told you guys we'd be heading towards 280, and I told you guys if we held to 280 we would be getting a nice pop to the upside. That's exactly what we're seeing here, and it is looking good for bullish continuation. I'm gonna break down why. Ladies and gentlemen, everything's gonna come down to GME earnings tomorrow. They're gonna do everything they can to attack us, but I told you guys there's a huge chance that I could be wrong because they might attack us. But from what I'm seeing, we're going to see a green week and be bullish. Let's go ahead and break down why that is. GME, I believe, is going to be holding and consolidating between 23.15 and 23.32. I told you guys in yesterday's video that if we held 23.15 that you would see a decent move to the upside, and I believe that is what's about to occur. It looks like we confirmed it as support several times today. It looks like we're consolidating right now. We closed above it today as well. These are all very, very bullish indications. I'm expecting a consolidation tomorrow, then a breakdown holding that as support, and then a move towards 23.50. Now, if we break and hold 23.50, that's where things could get interesting because we could see a nasty pop to the upside towards 24 and even possibly the gap fill. Now, I want to point out what happened last time on earnings here for GameStop. You guys can see GameStop was way up here during earnings. We were valuated over $30, but then we got this big move to the downside after earnings. I believe that this earnings is going to be better. I believe it's going to be a profitable company. The collectibles market is hot right now. Pokemon cards are hot right now. Also, I believe that the Bitcoin is going to show up on its balance sheet. So these are all reasons I'm extremely bullish for this GME earnings. Also, we're not as valuated as high as we were before, and that's why I believe that this earnings is going to be different, and we're actually going to see a bullish pump to the upside. I believe that's why we saw some of this bullish momentum today, and I believe that this bullish momentum is going to continue into tomorrow. I will be live streaming earnings, so make sure you guys put that bell notification on, subscribe, put everything on. That way you guys can make sure you can get this analysis and news as it does come out and is available. I will be going live tomorrow, so again, make sure you guys lock in. Now, as you guys can see, we also have bullish technicals for both AMC and GME. GME pushing up, getting this bullish consolidation above that 23.15 level. You can also see if we go ahead and pop on the super trend, you guys will see that we have a buy signal here on the 2-hour time frame with green MACD on the 2-hour time frame. And if we pop on the alligator, you guys can see the alligator is saying that we are bullish here on GME with a bull flag type structure where we could easily push to the upside. And I do believe that 23.50 is coming here for GME after it holds 23.15 tomorrow. I believe we're going to hold that tomorrow and push towards 23.50. And again, if we hold 23.50, we're going to start moving towards that gap fill on the daily time frame. Gap fill starts at 24.84 and ends at the levels of 28.47. Once we get into this gap, that's where things are going to get interesting because GME will begin to pump because it is such a large gap that it's going to be filled quickly. So be ready for that. The key level that we need to break in order to get to the gap first is 23.50, and I believe that's what we're going to potentially see as early as tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Now, again, this all depends on earnings going right, but I believe since the valuations are lower, and I believe that the balance sheet will look good and will be a profitable company, I think that we're going to actually push up. Now, again, they could attack us because they do have a decent amount of short shares here for GME. They were dumping short shares today, but we were able to fight it. We had the volume. We had the bullish momentum. 4.7 million short shares here for GME at a cost of borrow of 0.43%. You can see that cost of borrow is also rising, so this is a bullish indication as well. You definitely want to see cost of borrow much higher, but this is a bullish indication as well. Now, AMC in particular, you guys can see only has 450,000 short shares left. This is the lowest we've seen AMC short shares in a long time, ladies and gentlemen. Also, cost of borrow simultaneously rising at the same time. So you guys can see cost to borrow at 0.52%. We definitely want to see it at 1% or higher, but the higher the cost to borrow, the better. So cost to borrow going up is heading in the right direction, and shares only being at 450,000, the lowest we've seen it in almost months, ladies and gentlemen. This is insane. We've seen them have millions and millions and millions of short shares for months and months and months, and now they only have 450,000. Now they could get more tomorrow, but the case is they're still pretty low on ammo, ladies and gentlemen, and if they do get more, it's going to make that cost to borrow go up. So this is an indication that all of that bearish pressure that we've seen from them shorting and dumping shares on us might be somewhat alleviated, and this is why AMC and GME are going to be able to go up. AMC also above critical levels right now. You guys can see AMC got that inverse head and shoulder play out exactly as predicted. We came above 280. I told you guys if we held 280, you're going to see a nice pop to the upside. Now AMC is working on its next support and resistance of 285. I believe that AMC is not only going to break and hold 285 tomorrow, but start heading towards 290. And if we break and hold 290, then we can push up towards this gap fill that's right underneath $3 and potentially reclaim $3. I believe that AMC is bottoming. I told you guys if AMC held $2.80, that is the bottom for AMC, and I predicted this in yesterday's video, and I believe that's exactly what we're seeing right now. You guys can see RSI starting to get pretty hot though here on the hourly time frame. That is something we want to be aware of, but we still have a little bit of room to run here on the 2-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame, and if you go down to some of these lower time frames, we still have a tiny bit of room to run before getting in that overbought territory. But RSI is starting to get hot, but I think we're going to be able to push up towards 290 tomorrow, in my personal opinion, on AMC, and I think GameStop's actually going to push towards 2350. Now remember, if GameStop holds 2350, that's going to mean GameStop gets a nice pop to the upside, and if AMC holds 290, that means AMC is going to be able to get a nice pop to the upside, and the combination of all of these bullish technicals and the short shares being low lead me to believe that we're going to see a continuation to the upside, in my personal opinion. You can also see that the alligator showing bullish technicals as well here, and we have a nasty buy signal for AMC on the 4-hour time frame, which is extremely bullish. So multiple indications that you're going to see a continuation. So this is why I'm going to have to say that that green week is coming. Even though they might attack GME, I believe the green week is coming for the meme stock. So this is what I'm looking at for AMC and GME. Let's go ahead and move into SPY, the overall stock market. Show you guys what's going on there. Again, just real quick, GameStop is going to have, I believe, Bitcoin on the balance sheet this earnings. I believe it's going to be profitable. So everything is going to come down to GME earnings. If GME did pull back, it would take AMC with it. But I just feel like we're going to see upside and more pumpage, in my personal opinion. So that is my prediction. Let's go ahead and move into SPY, show you guys what's going on there. So I told you guys in the weekly outlook and prediction, SPY might start out slow, might even see a little bit of pullback. That's kind of what we've seen here after getting this pop to the upside, came down, started to fill this gap. We talked about that in the live stream. But right now, SPY is recovering, and I think SPY is going to push towards 650 in my personal opinion. So I have a 650 price target for SPY tomorrow. I believe what we're going to see is consolidation here pre-market. The main thing is, as long as SPY holds 649.01, you're going to see a push towards 650. I honestly think during this week, SPY could possibly push as high as 652 or 654. But once it pushes up, it's going to get a sharp drop down. Okay, so be careful because right now, SPY is basically on stilts. All right, now we are seeing a little bit of recovery in things like NVIDIA. NVIDIA had a really bad earnings and has been bleeding out ever since. I told you guys that most likely would happen, but NVIDIA is starting to recover a little bit, which means this could definitely help SPY push higher. Apple's been holding SPY up since NVIDIA has been pushed down. Again, Apple and NVIDIA are basically the two titans of like NASDAQ and SPY, along with Microsoft and some others, but these are the big market movers. Apple, I believe, as long as it maintains above 235.95 and NVIDIA starts to push up, that could easily see NASDAQ and SPY move higher. So I think we're going to start moving towards 650. We do have a data drop coming out at 10 a.m. tomorrow, so just be aware of that. But I still think we're looking good. But just be aware that, you know, this is a revision, so we could see some volatility coming out around 10 a.m. It's not like a normal one where I have a consensus and forecast, but just be ready for some possible volatility volatility around 10 a.m. So traders do expect that. And then we have some data drops later this week that are going to be absolutely huge. On Wednesday, PPI, and then Thursday we have core inflation year over year, month over month. So be ready for that. And then Friday we have Michigan consumers sentiment. So be ready for those. The biggest ones are going to be core inflation and PPI, especially PPI. Those are going to be absolutely huge data drops and cause a ton of volatility. And we will talk to you guys about that when that does become available. But I think overall, SPY is going to be seeing a recovery towards 650, and then possibly moving towards 652 if it is able to hold 650 support and resistance. So this is what we're looking at for SPY in the overall market. Let's go ahead and move into BTC crypto, show you guys what's going on there, and then we will wrap up this video. So Bitcoin, interestingly enough, potentially holding key levels of 109,500, also making a potential inverse head and shoulders if it's able to break back above 113,000. Now, if it does that, it's going to head towards 115,000 and confirm that 109.5, so 109,500 is support. And that is the key thing I need to see to confirm that it is deviating from this fractal, because if we don't hold this level as support, we're going to drop down like the fractal saying towards the next major level of support and resistance and the next liquidity zone, which is at about 102,000 to about like 99 to 98,000. Now, if that did happen, that would be a huge buying opportunity in my personal opinion, but it looks like buyers are stepping in right around like that 110, 109,000 level, 108,000, and we are holding that as support. Now, it looks like we are potentially going to deviate from this fractal, but I'm seeing a lot of manipulation in the crypto market, ladies and gentlemen. They don't want the crypto market to break out. They're trying to accumulate more crypto before it goes even higher. Crypto really wants to break out, and I've seen this as of lately. You guys can believe it or not, but based off my analysis, they are literally trying to spread FUD. You guys can see here, this is why people don't trust the mainstream media. I showed this yesterday. Multiple outlets literally regurgitating the same thing, reporting the same thing, trying to spread fear in the market where there really isn't any fear, ladies and gentlemen. And again, you want to be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. So if we did move deeper into fear or did have fear in the crypto market, that's a good indication to buy, ladies and gentlemen. You guys can see we're moving into the neutral now, but over the weekend we did have that fear. You guys can see also other indications that Bitcoin might deviate from this fractal as altcoins look like they want to break out. Ethereum right now being consolidated. Again, they have sell walls. They're trying to hold it here. Look, you can literally see they're trying to pin Bitcoin, buy walls here, sell walls here. They don't want it to break out. They want to accumulate. They want you guys to sell so they can buy more, because things like Bitcoin have finite caps. Things like XRP and Cardano ADA have finite caps. They cannot dilute these coins. They have max supplies. So the only way they can get these coins is literally for you to sell them so they can buy them from you. And they want to buy more before this stuff runs up, because crypto is going to run up. We're seeing mass adoption happening right in front of our eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Look at crypto treasuries. Crypto treasuries hitting new all-time highs. Massive legislation coming down the pipeline that's very, very bullish for cryptocurrency. Crypto is not going anywhere but up, ladies and gentlemen, and mass adoption is literally happening in front of our eyes, but they are trying to spread FUD. If you look at key coins like XRP, Ethereum, Cardano ADA, all of these coins look like they're trying to break out. You guys can see that XRP has these sell walls here, but if XRP is able to reclaim $3, you could see a nasty move to the upside. XRP breaking above this sloping support and resistance, saying that this downtrend that it's been in, this overall downtrend that it's been in, is potentially over since it broke above this sloping support and resistance. So XRP is looking good. Again, they do have those sell walls there, but it's looking good to potentially reclaim $3. And if you see that, then XRP will start to recover as well. XRP has been an overall downtrend since the all-time high. It looks like that might be ending, and XRP could start potentially recovering from that. You guys can see that we've been in this overall downtrend. It looks like that might be ending, and we'll start recovering from that. Again, Cardano ADA also looking like it's going to make a nasty move. Cardano ADA tracking with my macro prediction, breaking out of this overall bullish structure here. You guys can see my macro prediction is Cardano ADA pushing up, and Cardano ADA is one of the few coins that haven't hit all-time highs. I mean, there's many coins that haven't hit all-time highs yet, but it's one of the top coins. It's a top 10 coin, and it hasn't hit all-time highs yet. Bitcoin hit all-time highs. Ethereum has hit all-time highs. XRP's hit all-time highs. ADA is number 10 on the list and has not hit all-time highs. Now, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP are 1, 2, and 3. ADA is number 10, has not hit all-time highs. So to me, this is looking undervalued in my personal opinion. You guys can see all-time highs for ADA would actually be closer to $3. $3.10, and we're way down here at 86 cents. So a lot of gains I think will be coming for ADA. ADA looks good to definitely reclaim at least $1.25 in my personal opinion, and that should be happening soon. So it looks like altcoins are set up for a move, and Bitcoin's potentially set up a move, especially with this potential inverse head and shoulders in play. So if Bitcoin's able to reclaim 113,000, just know you're going to see Bitcoin make a nasty pop to the upside. All right, so be ready for that. If Bitcoin makes a nasty pop up, you're going to see altcoins follow with it. And this is why I think that we might deviate from this fractal and not have that flush out that everyone's talking about. A lot of people are talking about a crypto crash, a potential flush out. Even the fractal shows that. I think based off what I'm seeing here, we might not see that, and we actually could see Bitcoin start pushing up and moving back towards 115,000. And if we do see that, it's going to bring altcoins up with it as well. Key altcoins like Ethereum, Cardano, ADA, and XRP ready to blast off. So this is what I'm looking at for the stock and crypto market. Just a quick little thing right here. This coin MYX is up massively here. MYX Finance is up massively, just 266% in the day, 1,152% in the week. Just putting this on your radar, guys. A coin that is absolutely doing numbers. Again, 266% on the day, ladies and gentlemen. So absolute craziness. We also seen a stock blow up today as well. It blew up like 4,000% or something crazy like that. So I talked about that on the live stream. So again, make sure you guys lock into the live streams, hit that like button, subscribe, put the bell notification on. We also sold some merch yesterday as well. I appreciate you guys for repping the DC fam. I'm rocking some of the merch right now. So if you want to support the channel in a different way, you can cop the merch store or drop a super chat on the live stream. But if you want to support for absolutely free, just hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below, share the information, share the channel. That helps me out a lot. And as always, y'all, I appreciate each and every one of you, especially if you're watching to the end of the video to see this message. And as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out, family.